Okay, today we are going to see and learn some what's the difference between the different kind of fabric we use or is used in the industry. This time I'm going to take you through. We have nylon. It's silicone on both sides. I have nylon with silicone on one side and polyurethane on the other side. I will call it just PU from now on. We have polyester, ripstop polyester with PU on one side and silicone on the other side. And finally polyester, it's also called sil-poly, with silicone on both sides. It's very interesting to see how this fabric performs depending on what you apply to them, because these fabrics are not waterproof, but they need to be applied a sealant to be waterproof, and for that we can use silicone or PU. That's the most common appliances we use in the industry. So I will try to show you the strength of these materials, and I will also try to show you how the strength in this fabric differences when depending on what the waterproofing we use. And how I will do this is by penetrating the fabric with this awl like this. I will penetrate the awl through this fabric a centimeter, and I will perform a rip on this fabric like this. I will do it with polyester, sil-poly. I will do it with polyester, with PU silicone, and I will do it with nylon, PU and silicone, and I will do it with nylon, silicone on both sides, called silicone. And I believe you will be surprised what you will see, how the appliance affect the strength of the material. I will perform the measurement 3 times and to make an average of the findings, because the readings will be somewhat different between each time. So it's not always easy with this equipment to read an exact reading every time. So I will make an average for each fabric. That all these fabrics has the same thickness of the thread in the fabric. With that said, the thickness of the thread is measured in the denier, and for now I will just say D. So all these fabrics, both the polyester and the nylon, has 40 D in regards to the thickness of the thread in the fabric. The thread is, if you study a ripstop nylon or polyester in sunlight, you will see threads going vertical and horizontal in the fabric. These are measured in different thickness and so on. Mainly if you have a thicker thread, the fabric gets heavier. So for very lightweight fabrics, you need a very thin thread, for example 20 or 15 D. So it's a compromise. You have something also called thread count, how the density of the thread, but all these have the same thickness of the ripstop thread in the fabric. This time I have nylon and I have polyester. Polyester is somewhat underestimated, I think, because it's used on mainly low-end tent and so on, but polyester have many good qualities and so on. Nylon is somewhat more expensive material. It's I will show you that it also has a higher tear strength. But nylon have some qualities that polyester don't, and polyester has some qualities that nylon don't. We in our tents use nylon 66. There are different kinds of nylon used in the tent industry. You have nylon, nylon 6 and nylon 66. We use nylon 66 because it's considered as a high tenacity fabric, and it's also the creme de la creme in the fabric based on nylon. So on the lower part you have a nylon, you have nylon 6 and you have nylon 66. I'll start off with the polyester, seal poly. That's polyester with silicone on both sides. So some of the benefits with silicone used in fabric is that the silicone penetrates the fabric. It's and lubricate the fabric, which makes them very flexible. They move and toss between each other, and which makes the fabric more stronger, a lot more stronger if you use the fabric without the silicone. So I will perform a test now with the seal polyester with silicone on both sides. So that was seal poly, 3 readings, and I will calculate the average of these readings and display it here. So let's see what's happened if we replace one side of this polyester with replace the silicone with PU. And the reason the PU is used mainly everywhere on tents is because nothing bites on silicone. So the PU is applied on the inside of the fabric to be able to tape this seam sealing tape on the inside. So we will see what happens to the fabric in regards of strength when the PU is applied to the fabric. This time polyester. Yeah, it's quite drastic, the difference between when removing the silicone and replacing it with PU. As you can see from these readings, it's dramatic. So this is the reason why, even though you get the seams completely waterproof from factory when using PU, our choice is to use silicone on both sides. The drawback is that the seams are not 100% waterproof, but needs to be lubricated with some silicone by end user when the tent is received. And the profit from this is that you get a tent that will last from years and years and years, and will serve you very well in the most years to come. So there are many benefits with silicone, but the main benefit with PU is that you get these water sealed seams from the factory, but as you see, the strength of the fabric is reduced a lot when used PU. So this was polyester, and I will now show you the nylon 66 with and without the PU. Yeah, and I will now perform a test with nylon 66 silicone coated on both sides. So this was nylon 66 with silicone on both sides. And now look what happens when we take the nylon 66 and replace one of the sides impregnated with silicone and replace it with PU instead. Let's see at the let's see the measurements, what they tell us. Yeah, it's surprising, and as you see, the strength of the fabric decreases dramatically when using PU as an impregnation on the fabric. So this is why we prefer to use silicone on both sides of the fabric, because we think that you benefit the most from it in the long run. So even though the seams are not 100% waterproof with silicone, because you are not able to sim seal it from the factory. So we think that's a minor issue in regards of what you gain in the strength of the fabric when using only silicone. But of course the seams are pretty much waterproof. And you probably will see that the condensation on the inside of the tent are far more a challenge compared to what actually gets through the seams. So a lot of campers are confused or don't see where the moisture, where the water come from, because when you see water on the inside of the fabric when it's raining, it's most probably it's condensation you see, and not water that has come through the seams. So if you want to avoid condensation on the inside, use an inner tent or use some sort of heating or good ventilation to avoid the condensation on the inside. And you will see that there's more or less nothing of the water, the rain from the outside that comes through the seams, even though you haven't been lubricating them with silicone. So I've been showing you nylon 66 and polyester, both ripstop 40D. Nylon 66 is consider as the high tenacity in nylon, as the creme de la creme in nylon. I also have a nylon 6, so I will show you how this performs compared to the nylon 66. Nylon 66 is considerably more expensive than nylon 6, even though nylon 6 is also very high-end nylon. But I will try to show you that there is a difference, and nylon 66 is one of the reasons why our products is a bit more, somewhat more expensive. But you as a end user get a really high-end and quality product. But I will show you nylon 6 and how this performs. Yeah, that was nylon 6 with silicone on both sides, 40D. So I will compare them for you, the average, the 3 measurement, and compare them with nylon 66. The strength is one thing, but there are other benefits with nylon 66 compared to nylon 6. Yeah, and finally, we have a nylon 6 with silicone on one side and PU on the other side. You see, the PU makes the fabric a bit glossy and so on, so you can easily identify if it's PU used on the fabric. Many manufacturers also use PU on both sides and don't use silicone at all. But this is our nylon 40D, the silicone on one side, PU on the other side. Yeah, that was nylon 6 coated with PU on the inside and silicone on the outside. As you can see, it's a dramatical difference also here, like all the other fabrics when used PU. So I hope you learned something of why we do as we do in regards of the choice of fabric, the choice of waterproofness, why we use siliconized products, fabrics, compared to, for example, PU. You have some benefits and some drawbacks on both, but all in all, we are convinced that the nylon with the silicone on both sides, nylon 66, is by far the best choice in concerns of durability and in such a way that you will have a tent in many years to come. And you should not be in the need of upgrading and replacing your tent because it's gone bad and so on.